Hello there guys, and welcome to my review on the Uchu Sentai Kyuranger Voyagers. These are all 9 of the first Kyuranger Voyagers that we get in the series, Uchu Sentai Kyuranger, as well as whatever the adaptation to Power Rangers is going to be called, which as of the time of the recording of this video, it has not been announced that Kyuranger is going to be adapted into Power Rangers, but there are hopes that it will at some point in the future, hopefully in 2021. If you are watching this video in the future after it has been adapted, or at least after it has been announced that it's going to get an adaptation, you know what the name of the series is, but from the time period of which I am recording this video, that sort of announcement has not been made yet. So, anyway, what you are looking at here are the Japanese versions of the toys. These are the ones that came from Japan. These are the Kyuranger Voyagers, the Sentai versions of the Voyagers, or Zords, as some people will call them once the series does get adapted into Power Rangers, whatever season it's going to be called. And I've separated them into 2 different groups. The ones that you see up higher are all included in the KyurenOh set. KyurenOh is the main combination of Kyuranger, which is what you get when you combine the Shishi Voyager with any of the other 8 Voyagers, any 4 of the other 8 Voyagers, but the ones that are included would be the Kojiki Voyager, the Oshi Voyager, the Okami Voyager, and the Chameleon Voyager. And then the 4 that you see down below are ones that you get as individual sets. The Hibachi Voyager, the Tendon Voyager, the Sasori Voyager, and the Washi Voyager. Now, you can also get the Sasori Voyager along with the Yu Voyager and Koguma Voyager in the Ryuteo set, but we will be looking over those in another video. This video is going to cover only the original 9. And I know that there are some people that actually review the KyurenOh set on its own and have the other Voyagers be reviewed in a separate video, but I've decided to go ahead and have them all be shown at once, since I haven't seen anybody else do it. So anyway, I'm going to be looking at all of these in numerical order, so let's get right to it. Starting off, here we have the Shishi Voyager. And I should also point out that these should be out. They are rockets on the side, which are folded in for the combination, but I did not have them be out since this is in its individual state. The Shishi Voyager is the largest of the original 9 Voyagers, as it forms the torso of KyurenOh. It's got these sort of, I think they're supposed to be like claws, since this is a lion, and lions have claws. And here we have the lion head, and it also has a mouth, but it's really hard to, well, it's actually impossible to open it up all the way until you turn it, which is for the combination, but we'll show that when we get there. These can rotate, but the back of the legs don't move at all, even in combined form. They just sit there. Now, of course, it's not entirely identical as far as the paint goes. Like, you can see a bit of brown on this side, but not on this side. And then you see a little bright red over here, but none over here. And it's got these nice patterns, like this sort of green diamond on its head, and this orange sort of texture on the top of the head. And then, here we have the Shishi Kyutama, and you can see the lion right there. This is the, well, that's the Kyutama that is for Shishi Red. And I think that's all I have to say about the individual version of Shishi Red, so let's now move on. Next up, we are looking at the Sasori Voyager, which during the time of the recording of this video was just delivered to my door. I've had all of the others for a while, especially the ones that you get in the KyurenOh set. I've had them like since the start of November, but there was a bit of a problem with some of the Voyagers, such as an issue with the seller not sending them out. So I had to purchase them again from another seller. But anyway, the Sasori Voyager is, well, the orange Ranger mech, or Zord of the series. I know some people are going to say, oh, that's not a Zord because it's not in Power Rangers. Well, thing is, hopefully one day it will be in Power Rangers, so get used to me saying Zord on a number of occasions, because one of these days it's most likely that it will make sense that we call this a Zord, because people who are into Power Rangers are so used to calling them Zords. Even though there is not always an indication of what they are called, just sometimes mechs or robots, but usually not Zords. Well, there's only one instance in Super Sentai where they were referred to as Zords, and that would be in Go Busters, which next year, at the time of the recording of this video, is going to be coming out as Power Rangers Beast Morphers. But if only it was Kyuranger that was coming out, and not that one. Oh well. The Sasori Voyager is, of course, a scorpion. I believe the Sasori translates to either scorpion or poison. I'm not quite sure exactly. I don't really know a lot of Japanese. I know a little bit of it, but I'm not an expert on the Japanese words. And the legs do move down, which is part of the combination. And we got this stinger tail, which can go forward. And there are these claws right here that don't actually open up. Just like with the original KyurenOh set, there is, well, the original Shishi Voyager, there is some non-symmetric paint patterns on the claws of the Sasori Voyager. I'm sorry about what's going on. I have a cat, and I'm just trying to keep her from walking into the studio. So anyway, you can see a bit of brown over on this claw, but not over here, and then also the yellow right here, but not over here. And there's also this white pattern over on this side, but not on this side. Not a big deal, though. Now here is the Sasori Kyutama. It is the number 2 Kyutama in the series. You can see the number 2 on there. And there's the Scorpion, whatever the constellation is called. I am not too familiar with the constellations, so do excuse me if I don't mention them, because I don't really know them. So that is the Sasori Voyager. Now, on to the next one. Next up is the Okami Voyager. This is the Voyager that belongs to Okami Blue, the Blue Ranger, and this is one of the ones that you get in the KyurenOh set, as it is one of the first 5 in the series that makes an appearance. Now, despite it being the Zord belonging to the Blue Ranger, it's actually mostly silver with just a few blue accents. Like you can see some blue accents on the legs, as well as on the head. And of course it also has that, you know, the patterns over here, not over here. And I really like the wolf face, and his mouth can open. Pretty like good serious look though. Now the legs at the front don't move at all, and these move, and that is part of the combination. And his head also moves up and down, which again is for the combination, as well as moving from side to side. Now to take the Kyutama out, here it is. This is the Okami Kyutama, and there's the number 3, the number 03 right there, since this is Ranger number 3 of the series. So that's the Okami Voyager. Now on to the next one. Up next is the Tendon Voyager. I'm going to move the camera out because there have been cases where it's a little too close or too far. So the Tendon Voyager right here, it is the Gold Ranger's Zord, or mech, whatever you wish to call it. And it actually has two modes in independent form. This is one form where it takes on the appearance of a scale. I'm not quite sure if I am doing this right exactly, or if I'm doing it completely wrong. I'm not quite sure. And another mode is that it actually has a humanoid form by itself. And I will, oh, yeah, that's another thing about this this one. The arms are actually removable. I mean, they never showed it in the show, but they are removable, at least on the figure itself. So that is the Tendon Voyager in humanoid mode, and it can use these as shields, which is pretty good, and it's also got the sort of balanced design on its head, and also the non-symmetric patterns on its legs and its arms and its body. Oh, he kind of looks empty now that I've taken out the Kyutama. Kind of like I just pulled his stomach out. Here is the Tenbin Kyutama, and you can see that it has the balance on it, and it has the number 04 down right below. So that is the Tenbin Voyager. Now on to the next. Next up is the Oshi Kyutama. This is the Zord that is based on a bull. It belongs to Oshi Black. And, you know, again, pattern over here, no pattern over here. Its face is mostly silver, and it also has this sort of brown visor over on its eyes. And like with the Okami Voyager, it can open up its mouth. Now they do have these sort of traction wheels, or caterpillar wheels, but they don't actually turn. But they do have these rollers on the bottom, so you can just move it about on the ground. Probably a lot better if it was done in on a hardwood floor, but this is a soft floor. It's on a carpet underneath the blanket that I'm using as part of the studio. Now the horns do actually move downwards, and I guess that makes sense because they can sometimes be used as a weapon when this is being used in arm mode, and it also moves its head up and down, you know, when it's being used in leg mode, and turns from side to side for when it is in arm mode. Now here is the Oshi Kyutama, and you can see the bull on there, and it also has the number 05 right there. Hopefully you can see that. So that is the Oshi Kyutama, and it's another one of the ones that is included in the KyurenOh set, not one of the ones that you can get separately. Now on to the next one. Next we have the Hibachi Voyager. This is a snake-based Voyager, and I really like the design of this one. You can see the face of the snake right there, and it can actually open up its mouth like that. And these are supposed to be its lower teeth, which can also move. Now just like with the Tenbin Voyager, this can actually become its own humanoid form. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And to do that, oh, come on. Oh, that's right. Right, better turn this around right there. And separate this. And there you have the humanoid version of the Hibachi Voyager. And, of course, the same non-symmetric patterns on either side of the body. Now, I also really like how It looks like it's holding swords right here. The upper teeth have become swords, or weapons that he can now use. And the parts of the snake head now become shields, I think. I mean, that's how it looks, anyway. Pretty much just another, kind of like just, again, the Tendon Voyager with a bit of difference to it. Also has removable arms right there. And I'm trying to get them back on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. Next, I will show you the Kyutama. And this is it. This is the Hibachi guy Kyutama. And you can see the snake right there. Pretty nice. Alright. Next up is the Chameleon Voyager, which is one of the ones that you get in the KyurenOh set. And I really don't get as to why they couldn't have just used whatever word you use in Japanese instead of chameleon. They just use the English word. It's hard to understand. Now, it of course has the same non-symmetric patterns. I just heard a sort of thunk noise coming from behind me, and I don't know what made it. I don't know if you heard it, but I heard it. Oh, I think it might be my cat. Sort of, I think. But anyway, the Chameleon Voyager can open up its mouth, and you can also see the tongue come out right there. In the show, it can wrap around things, but it's just limited to this on the toy. And the back of the legs can also move up and down like that. And here is the Kyutama for the Chameleon, and it has the number 07 right on there. So it's pretty small, but it is also pretty good as a Zord by itself and in combined mode. Alright, on to the next one. Next up is the Washi Voyager. This is the Zord that is based on an eagle belonging to Washi Pink. And I really like the design of this one and the colors of it. Having the pink hair and pink feathers right there. And it also can open its mouth. And this is, by the way, one of the ones that you get as an individual set, rather than in the KyurenOh set. And the wings can move about in any sort of way that, well, it has all sorts of different ways that you can move it about. I'm not quite sure if it looks better like this. I mean, it looks good this way in combined form, and it's probably the proper way, or a bit more like this, which probably only works when you have it attached to the back of KyurenOh, which is something that you can do besides attaching it as an arm or a leg. And then here is the Washi Kyutama. You can see the number 08 right there, and you can see the symbol of the eagle, whatever the constellation is called, which, again, I do not know. Alright, on to the next one. Finishing off the list is the Kojiki Voyager, and this is the last of the 5 Voyagers included in the KyurenOh set. So it's not one that you can get as an individual set. It is, of course, a swordfish, and I really like how it is a yellow fish. Really nice. The arm, or rather the nose, actually can move up and down, and it can do that when it forms its leg mode, and it also works as a sword. So it's quite fitting for that. And again, it has patterns right here, but no patterns over here, which is a bummer. And here is the Kojiki Kyutama, and you can see the symbol of the swordfish, and it has the number 09 on it. Right, so that is the Kojiki Voyager. And now that we've looked at the individual Voyagers, we are now going to take a look at the combined form. Now, to do the combined form of KyurenOh, I have brought in the original 5 that are included in the KyurenOh set. There are all sorts of different combinations that you can do, but I'm going to be doing the original one that is shown on the actual show. Well, the one that was shown in the first episode anyway, and also what was advertised on the box. So anyway, to form KyurenOh, you start off with folding these down, which is pretty obvious. And then you fold these this way. Well, you can actually do this in any order, I'm just showing you. You turn the head like this, and there's the face. Oh, wait, you can't see it. Hold on. Oh, darn it! The leg of the camera has come out. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'm real sorry about that. That was unexpected. So anyway, there is the face of KyurenOh. It's in the mouth of the lion. And then, really hard to keep them all in the same shot. Let's see. Okay. You do this for the Oshi Voyager. Touch that. For the Okami Voyager, you fold the head up, fold this down, attach it on. For the Kojiki Voyager, just put it on there, and you fold this down, and put it right there. There is one form of KyurenOh, the one that is advertised on the box. Now I'm going to show you the additional features of it. Now, there is a button up on the top right here, and excuse me a moment. Alright, this should improve how you are able to see KyurenOh a bit. Let me try taking this a bit backwards. It's kind of hard to keep it all on one screen. Alright, there we go. Now, as I was saying, there is a button on the top of KyurenOh right here. And when I first got the set, I pushed it down, but it would not turn on. Even after I got batteries. And I thought, maybe it doesn't work on American batteries? Well, turned out that was not the problem. The problem is that I had it set off. So let's turn it on, shall we? And now it is on. And I will show you all sorts of different features for it. Let's push this down. Now, you can also see the Kyurangers inside of the cockpits. I will move the camera very close so you can see. Okay. It's not as well as I hoped. Okay, can you see it now?
KyurenOh! Go!
Come on, get into focus. And that is another way that KyurenOh does that. Alright, I'm kind of a bit distracted because my cat was in the room and she was just outside of the studio, but she's on the bed right now. So I don't think I should have any more troubles with her for the rest of this video review. So anyway, you can combine KyurenOh in this form, but you can also combine it in all sorts of different ways. Like, here we have the Sasori Voyager, and this is the first time that I'm actually going to attach the Sasori Voyager on to KyurenOh, since this is the Voyager that just came in. It just came into the mail. So, you fold the legs in, you turn this, and you turn the arm down like that, and let's take the Kojiki Voyager off. Set them to the side. And there. That is one way that you can use the Sasori Voyager as the right arm. You could also use it as the left arm if you want to, but that is how you can do it right there. Next, here's the Washi Voyager, and we're going to put it on over here, and I'm going to turn the wings like this. Now, look, it's a crossbow. Isn't that pretty neat? It is a crossbow. And we can also turn the Chameleon Voyager and the Kojiki Voyager into legs. So let's do that. So now we have the Chameleon and the Kojiki Voyager as legs. Here is the Sasori and Washi Voyager as legs now, and the Tendon and Hibachi Voyager forming arms. And now here is the Oshi and Okami Voyager as arms, and the Hibachi and Tendon Voyager as legs. Though a thing about using the Hibachi Voyager as a leg is that you've got this half of the snake head sticking out to the back. Oh, like that right there. But I suppose it's not that big of a deal anyway. So that is a number of different combinations that you can do. I've just showcased all of those out. Now, of course, I've mentioned when I was looking over the Washi Voyager is that it can also attach to the back to form wings. And it just so happens that on the back there are these connection points where the Washi Voyager can connect to, though these connection points are also serve the purpose of other combinations with mechs that we will look over in later videos. But now let's put the Washi Voyager onto the back right here. And there you have KyurenOh with wings now. So that is pretty good. Alright, so now it is time for my closing thoughts. It's pretty good that you get a huge variety of different ways that you can combine these different Voyagers, and it certainly will be good for when this actually does become a Power Rangers season one day, hopefully. And as I said before, as of the time of the recording of this video, it has not been adapted yet, just to let viewers in the future know, by the time it is adapted, that it has not been yet during the time of the recording of this video. And it's pretty good that you have all of these sort of different options on how to combine KyurenOh. Now, as far as I know, there are like 1,680 different combinations that you can get from all of these different Voyagers. I'm pretty sure that also includes if you have more than one of the same Voyager, like with that one episode where they actually made clones of Okami Blue and Chameleon Green and managed to get 2 of each of their Voyagers, which is something that you can't do unless you buy 2 of the same set. But of course, as I mentioned before, the Okami and Chameleon Voyagers, as well as the Kojiki, Oshi, and Shishi Voyager, cannot be purchased separately. So if you want to get a second of one of those Voyagers, you're going to have to get a second of all of those Voyagers. But anyway, I think that if you only use each Voyager once per combination, I think you get a lot less options than that. And I think that makes good sense to only have one of each, because that probably would increase the huge number of different possible combinations that you can do. So anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and let's continue to hope that we will get an adaptation of Power Rangers to this series one day. And thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again in my next video.